Sometimes in life, certain things happen to individual and we wonder, why? How? Is that possible? Is that true? I don't believe it. How is that ever happening? These people are superstitious. No, sir. But I can tell you this. Sometimes things do happen even if you think it doesn't even exist. Hi, this is your girl Evanity Star coming to you with another video, and today I'll be talking to you about how my brother lost his mental health or lost his sanity to smoking marijuana laced with lizard tail. So guys, if you have similar experience, don't be afraid to comment in the box, let me know, and just share your thoughts about what I am talking about. And don't be quick to judge or to criticize because people go through different stuff. So, guys, just continue to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the post notification bell so that you can be notified of more videos to come. I can tell you of an incident with my brother growing up in Jamaica. He was so handsome. I used to sit and look at my brother and ask myself, why is he so handsome? He was brown and his hair used to stand up in his head, and he had, people used to say he has uh, a special type of hair, because my mom come from a mixed race where her mother is white and my grandfather is black. So, with that mixture, and then my father now is jet black and my mom is fair skinned. So we come mixture. I used to admire him as a brother growing up. We weren't that close because he was way ahead of me. He was more closer to my sister, my bigger sister. And I was young, so he didn't look at me as, he had this proudness about him. And what happened was, when he was about 20 years old, my mom got him a job. And when she got him that job, she had to buy him clothes and shoes, and he was looking so put together because he used to work in the office where my mother was working. Because when he went to visit my mom, the boss had a good relationship with my mother, and my mom went and asked him if he could give my brother a job, and he said yes, and my brother started working in the office with him. So my mom had to buy a shirt and jacket and pants, and that enhances his beauty. Everybody turned their head to look at my brother. Every woman wanted a piece of him. But my brother had a bad habit. He used to smoke marijuana. And I never used to think that was a bad thing because everybody around me used to smoke except my mom. And whatever my mom did, I followed her. She used to always tell me, Yvonne, smoking marijuana is bad. Smoking marijuana is not good. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to smoke. But my sisters didn't smoke, but all my brothers did smoke. My brother had a best friend that he used to be around anytime he's not working. And one day he went and visit his friend in the community. And during that time, his friend had a issue with the neighbor where he got into a fight and threw a stone and hit a particular lady. Now that lady was living next door to him, so she used to sell marijuana because in Jamaica, they're in the ghetto, where you would call it, where poor people live. People sell marijuana as a way of making a living in Jamaica. So people used to have different strain of marijuana. If this one don't have this type of marijuana, they will send for marijuana to a different person or a different person. They have different grades of marijuana. So this lady always sell marijuana, and because she had an altercation with my brother's friend, he would never go and buy marijuana from her. So what he would do was to send somebody else. And during this time, when he would send somebody else, the lady will always ask, who sent you to come and buy? Who sent you to come and buy the marijuana? And the person would say, it's Tony who sent me to come and buy the marijuana. And then what she did was to catch the ground lizard, because the guy because Tony hit her with a stone, she wanted to take her revenge back on Tony. So she catch the ground lizard and she parch the tail, chop the tail off of the ground lizard, parch the tail, and decided to sprinkle the grounded lizard tail that she parched into the marijuana and put it aside for whenever Tony sends somebody to buy the marijuana, she have that marijuana for him as a form of revenge. Now, this day in particular, Tony got the weed that was plot for him, and my brother went up to Tony's house and shared the weed with Tony. Now, to my dismay, my brother started acting wayward, start becoming unkempt, cutting his pants, not going to work, start to fanning like he was standing in front of me and he would be fanning something like that. And I said, what you fanning? It's like a fly. And I said, there's no fly. And everybody used to wonder, why is he changing up like that? And I didn't understand what was going on with him. And him just start acting wayward. Tony, on the other hand, was behaving in the similar fashion as my brother. Tony was living with his child's mother and he had a kid with her. At least Tony had two kids with his child's mother. And my brother at the time was expecting a baby. So during the time my brother got ill, his daughter just born. And he started becoming neglectful, start acting weird, start acting paranoid, start just behaving in a way where he start to look up in the sun and start saying, oh, he's the king of the Pope of Rome, and him just acting bizarre, weird. But we didn't know what was happening because he was not actually eating from a garbage pan. He was still interacting, but he would just go off into this trance and start behaving awkward to, he just started behaving in a way that we weren't used to. And we didn't understand what it is about mental health. And I told you in prior videos that Jamaicans don't take mental health very serious. So they thought he was just behaving wayward and the weed that he was smoking wasn't good for him and you need to stop smoking weed because the weed make you stop thinking about yourself. That's all the people usually talks. And when Tony became ill also, people started to talking and started to wondering. But the person who sold the weed had a friend, and that friend name was Murdell. Now Murdell and this lady in question about 5 years after the incident, because Murdell and that person was so close. They were what you call Chimmy and Batty in Jamaica. Like they would just be together. Anytime you see one, you see the other. But they had a falling out. Murdell was the one who confessed that my brother got laced weed along with Tony. That's why they're both crazy. Now, during this time, my brother was already on the street. He was admitted in the mental health hospital. And because we didn't know how to care for him, because he started acting weird, he attacked my mother, he attacked my brothers, and then he didn't attack them with like a regular fight. He attacked to kill because he's attacking with machete and he's attacking with boards, with knife. And he will have a piece of board with the nail sticking out of it. So if he should hit you, that nail will penetrate you, or he will stab at you with a knife, and you just have to learn to defend yourself. So I was a person who went to the Bellevue Hospital and paid somebody. During that time, I was in nursing school, and so that means he wasn't in his 20s. He was, because he is 4 years older than me. So he was about 26, 27 thereabout. Yes, in his 20s. And I paid a guy $4,000 to come and pick him up and carry him to the mental health hospital because we were ashamed. We didn't know how to deal with it. My mom was distraught. She didn't know how to handle it. We don't know what was happening. My mom associated to witchcraft. She thought somebody was damaging her son because of his looks and because of his beauty. Somebody was working witchcraft against him, and my brother become a total mad person. My brother was looking up in the sun, talking to the sun, laughing to himself, getting paranoid. He was delusional. At that time, I didn't know what delusions were or being paranoid were, but looking back at the situation, he was just saying things that wasn't conducive to how he regular act at the time. On the other hand, Tony was also behaving the same way, but he had families that were more surrounding him and was more, they were protecting him more, so they would take him to heal a person, trying to say if they can ward off this bad spirit off him or a ghost, but he never recovered. And I was saying to myself, what kind of spirit is this that the both of them could have been attacked? Until Myrtle confessed that both of them got marijuana laced with lizard tail. So that's how I gained my knowledge of understanding that marijuana mixed with lizard tail can be very toxic to the brain, to the point where there's no return. And when I took him to the hospital and I had the opportunity of talking with the doctor, because paying those paying that individual to come and get him, is that I couldn't take him. And nobody in our family could take him because he was raving mad. And they had the expertise. So when I paid them the money, when I paid that particular person the money, he had other persons to come with a van to come and get him and take him to the mental institution. Now, my brother was admitted in the hospital and he has never recovered. He's here. My brother is able to identify who I am. If I go and look for him, he will say, "Hi, Yvonne, you come to look for me," but his high and his head, his mind is somewhere, and he's talking to himself and he's laughing to himself out loud. And he was able to recognize my mother. He is able to recognize friends and family, but he's never engaging in a conversation where it is rational. He's always off in a space somewhere talking to himself and laughing, and so he had to be committed in the hospital. So that's my story, guys, about how my brother lost his mental health to smoking marijuana mixed with lizard tail. And nothing never really come about that lady. And my mom would pray and ask Heavenly Father to forgive her for the things that she have done. And Tony eventually died, but my brother is still living. He's still mentally ill. Like I said, mental illness can be treated, but it cannot be cured. He's on a few psychiatric medication that is able to stabilize him to the point where he's able to work within the mental health hospital, like do a little farming and interact with people and do chores, basic chores, but he's back to talking with himself and laughing and interacting with himself. Take this as a learning lesson for your children, because sometimes in life you don't know what your children are doing, who they're interacting with, and they get themselves in a whole lot of problems that they can't even get themselves out of. And we as parents can't even get them out of it, like what happened to my brother. So just continue to do what is best for your children. Teach them, educate them, love them, show them what is best, be an example to them so that they can follow you in the process. Those who have children with mental health disorder, just continue to give them the love and the support, to show them the love and to care for them and be there to support them, help them with their medication. Just be patient with them, because this is what it needs. Mental health needs a lot of patience, it needs a lot of love, it needs a lot of support. And with medication and therapy, some of these patients can bounce back on their feet. I'm not talking about my brother in this case, because he's all gone. And medication is stabilizing him, but whenever he's off his medication, you cannot entertain or communicate with him. He's not even aware that you're there. But whenever he's on his medication, it stabilizes him and it makes him more aware of his environment. So guys, if you have anybody in your family with mental health disorder, don't be afraid to let me know. Just comment in the box and let me know and how you're able to deal with it. I know it's hard, and I can't compare Jamaica with America, because America have a lot of infrastructure put in place for people with mental health illness, and it is not enough. And you can imagine Jamaica that has only one mental health hospital. You have institutions that accommodate people for therapy and all of that, but it's not nothing invasive where you can live, or like the hospital where they will put them in. You have different mental institutions, and in the jail and all of that. You don't have that in Jamaica. So a lot of people suffer from mental health disorder, and whatever I'm saying about this lizard tail and ganja mixed together, a lot of people in Jamaica is aware of it, and they understand exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll wonder to yourself, wow, but to each his own, and experience teacheth wisdom. To each his own, and experience teacheth wisdom. So, guys, you know, it is very hard for me to know that I lost my brother to mental health disorder. And that is one of the reasons that pushed me to become involved with mental health patients, and to be in nursing working with mental health patients at this time, because I wanted to see what really caused an individual to lose their mind, and the best way they can get the help in order for them to live a wholesome life according to how they are capable to do so. So guys, if you like this video, don't be afraid to like, share, and comment. Turn on your post notification bell so that you can be notified of more videos to come. Have a good day.